Do you have big orexia? It's a never-ending cycle of you get gains,
2, 1,
temporary relief, and then it's followed by feelings of dissatisfaction and suffering. Social media fuels it 24/7.
Well, Colton and Ryan both say they've used steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs to gain the kind of body that are idolized on social media. By who? Well, not by women. We've kind of sussed that out. Dr. O'Connor says he would like to convince them to stop before it's too late. And researcher Callum Hood found that social media platforms are using algorithms to send out messages romanticizing steroid use to young teens. Now, TikTok says, not true. Just not true. However, when you look at the actual results, how can they say that's not true?
What I'm most interested in is the actual experience of young guys who are using these apps. And that's all we're testing out. When we set up an account on there and we tell TikTok, we're 13 years old, we're a young guy, and then we see what results we get. And you can hear it in what Ryan and Colton have been saying, you know, they're presented with this body image and you guys aspire to it, you know, and that's partly why you got into this. And you're rewarded as well when you post this stuff. You know, you go up the algorithm, more people see it, and you feel good about it. And, you know, the funny thing is, these statistics in our report, those are TikTok's statistics. And, you know, the main thing they've done since our report, they've wiped them off their website. So we've got less information to have this really important conversation and about how this is affecting young men.
So you would create a profile and open up an account, say 13-year-old boy. How long did it take before they started getting hit with this kind of information?
We're talking minutes, not days, you know, in terms of how long it takes to get content that promotes that extreme muscular superhero physique. And then the more you get into that, TikTok might learn you're quite interested maybe in the most extreme stuff, that you might be interested in this stuff that's about the drugs themselves.
Yeah. And TikTok says your methodology is not scientific. It says it's all too small a sample size.
We've done this multiple times, multiple accounts, multiple countries. It's very consistent. And again, a lot of these statistics, they're the ones that TikTok put out there themselves. And they can't really argue with them. And they know that. That's why they've removed these stats from the app completely.
There's an article out there that says that CCDH researchers trained the algorithm that they liked this content and then act surprised when they got similar content. How did you train the algorithm to give you that content?
What we do is just we follow the behaviour of a young man, you know, who's got an interest in this stuff. We've done it with accounts that, you know, look like they're young girls as well, who have an interest in body image. So for young girls, that might be really thin. For young men, we've looked at expressing that interest in videos. And all it means is you just watch that video and you like that video and then you see what it gives you next. And you can see that algorithm responds very aggressively because it wants you to get hooked on this content and it will show you more and more extreme stuff. There's been many studies, not just us, that show that this is the case with a lot of social media platforms who want that, you know, the money that is to be made from showing teens ads.
Yeah, there were thousands of replications of this. You're not the outlier. Mm-hmm. You're a leader, not an outlier. Correct. And then people replicate what you found over and over. That's why I'm telling you, this algorithm is kind of like a black box. Nobody understands it. It's what I call the mystery-mastery complex. If they maintain some mystery, then they can maintain mastery. But it's really not that hard to unpack. It looks at who the user is, and then it pays attention to their viewing patterns. And they can start funneling information to them. And if they take the bait, man, it just goes crazy and starts funneling it to them. You did the same thing with 13-year-old girls.
Exactly.
And you add 2 words like lose weight to an account, and the toxic information that flowing to that account by just adding those 2 words, lose weight, went up like 12-fold in a matter of minutes.
Absolutely correct.
It's just unbelievable.
Like you say, it's only them who know the full extent of this problem, and we know it's a big cultural phenomena. I personally got into this because I was going to the gym in London, and I found a box of syringes hidden in the behind the sink there, and that's when I realised this is a big cultural phenomena, and it's important for us to be having this conversation about it, what the risks are, why are young men doing this. And TikTok holds a lot of the information on that would allow us to have that conversation. They don't want to share it.
We have a statement from TikTok. Content that is instructing, selling, or depicting using selective androgen receptor modulators, SARMs, violates our community guidelines and will be removed when detected. I feel so much better. Hey, Dr. Phil here. Your savings are at risk. With the economy on shaky ground, the dollar losing value, and a $2 trillion deficit, things could spiral. Don't wait for the worst. Take control of your financial future now. I trust Preserve Gold to safeguard my accounts, and I urge you to do the same. They're the only precious metals company I recommend. What are you going to do to protect what's yours? Claim your special offer and learn how to reinforce your financial future. Visit drphilgold.com to get your free precious metals guide from Preserve Gold. With gold prices recently breaking records and analysts predicting this trend to continue through 2025, you cannot afford to wait. As a bonus, you can get up to $15,000 with a qualified purchase from Preserve Gold. So don't wait. Visit drphilgold.com today. Social media companies are here to get your children addicted to whatever they're selling so that your children become lifetime customers. Look, they prey on your children's insecurities, and they don't care if the content is harmful to their minds or bodies. Now, Dr. O'Connor, you suffered the consequences of avid steroid use. What happened?
I was training around the age of 13, naturally, up till 23, drug-free, natty. Back in the 80s, it was the accessibility to steroids. So it wasn't easy to get or to do, so I waited to the age of, that was probably 19 or something. I finally went to the dark side. I actually took the steroids to Europe because I didn't want to do them here because I was so against them verbally. I was just very strong, and I'd be even training and kind of bombastic in the gym that I'm drug, this is for you guys, you steroid guys. I mean, I did that. And then I got the drugs, went to Europe, and it just didn't go well. Testicles were painful, and I had some sexual issues. And I just came off, and I did recover. And then subsequently went back to America, got into my occupation before I was a physician. And from the age of about 23 to 28, I went on about 5 cycles. And every time you go on, you just dread coming off because it's working, you feel great. Like these guys right here, or this guy. And then about the age of 28, I just was so depressed and felt so tired. I was getting ready to go into med school, trying to figure this all out, And I felt tired. I didn't even check my levels. And I started taking testosterone. I've been on testosterone for 35 years, just maintaining myself. That's why I went into this, to protect these guys. I'm one of them. Now I'm older, not wiser. And the number one risk is they're going to get shut down. And they say at this age, that's okay. But we have no research. We need more data for this.
Yeah. Is there anything that anybody could say to you that would get you off of these drugs?
No, not at the moment. Probably not in the next 5-7 years, for sure.
How do you pay your bills?
I make money on like Instagram and everything.
It's kind of like a dark circle here. You're doing things that put your body and life in jeopardy, and you're getting paid to do it. And you keep doing it, and you keep getting paid to do it. Yeah. So you're locked into a vicious circle.
Yeah, but I was doing it also before even like posting on social media as well, because I still see that dream in the end, just stepping on that stage.
Anything can be said to you to keep you from going back on steroids?
Yeah, I think so. Hearing stuff like that doesn't motivate me to want to get back on. I'm just really interested in how they do affect the human body. There's so much more research out there now that I just find myself looking into.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters. The selection of a new pope. Entertainment you crave.
Busted. Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
with Serious Punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.